So we just saw there Anthony, the landlord Joshua, banging the pads and showcasing his skills. Now, those of you who follow the channel will know that I've been somewhat critical of AJ's trainer, Robert McCracken, and some of his little tiny bits of his technique, which I personally, as a casual, these are my casual opinion, I would have tweaked a few things of AJ's technique. However, I'll admit myself, it looks like AJ's team have really done their homework, in my opinion, from this 20-second clip. Now, we're going to see how much this kind of stuff translates to December 7th, because obviously this fight here is only a 30-second clip, and it may be his best work, etc, etc. But trust me, I'd rather be seeing this a week before than be seeing some other goofy stuff that, you know what I mean? This for me is certainly, small clip or not, training clip or not, pad clip or not, it's a step in the right direction, in my opinion. Definitely encouraging. Now, as I said, we're going to see how it translates under pressure, but for now, I'm encouraged. The first note I took was about his pad man. Now, I'm not going to just blame Rob McCracken for this, but it's not just him. A lot of other trainers do it as well, but what you'll notice is this pad man actually tests AJ's defense by throwing a hook actually into AJ's guard, actually aiming for AJ's head. Now, if you go back and watch some of Rob McCracken's pad work, you'll see Rob McCracken, when he throws hooks for AJ to defend, he'll throw them right over AJ's head. Now, AJ, the reason Rob McCracken's hooks go over AJ's head isn't because AJ's ducking loads. He's just avoiding the fighter. And you see, it's not just McCracken. You see a lot of trainers do this. A lot of them do. They throw the hooks and it goes right over their fighter's head. Why are you doing that for? You want to prepare, or you want to pretend to be an actual opponent. Your opponent will never throw a hook and blatantly miss your head. Every shot a pad man should throw, in my opinion, should literally be aiming to hit your fighter. Well, otherwise, what are you doing it for? Because you can bet your bottom dollar, your opponent will always aim to hit your fighter. So therefore, as a pad man, you should always aim to hit your fighter. And what they'll learn is either, number one, they'll learn to actually use their knees and duck more, or number two, they'll learn to actually catch. It won't take long, trust me. If you get hit with a few flush pads because you ain't been ducking your knees enough, or because you ain't been catching the shot properly, you'll quickly learn, or you'll find out how to do it if you don't know how to do it already. Trust me. And that's a great way of positive feedback in that sense. If I do this, if I don't dip my knees enough, if I don't catch properly, I'm going to get stung. And the great thing is about pads, it's a good way to learn, because in sparring, people are throwing big shots. You've got trained men fighting trained men, whereas in pads, there's not as much sting on it. So you can really focus on actually being accurate as a pad man. You should be aiming to literally catch your fighter out. You know what I mean? As an example, let's say if I was Deontay Wilder's trainer, I might dig a shot to his liver. You know when he does that high guard and he brings his elbows right up? I'd literally, as a pad man, you should literally be trying to catch your fighter out and essentially hurt them, find the holes in their defense, because after all, you're in training. This is the time you want to patch the holes up. So as a pad man, you should be literally trying to find holes in your fighter's defense, not throwing a shot right over his head to help him out because he's being lazy. Do you know what I mean? So that was the first thing you see this trainer do. And also on that note, when AJ actually catches the shot, you'll see him doing little things like, at around the 1:30 mark, you see AJ literally catch and counter. He catches his left hook. He catches his left hand and he bangs the left hook. Nice stuff. They've clearly been working on higher level fighting stuff, meaning that a lot of McCracken's pad work was single shots. AJ's doing within a combination. He's catching and countering within a combination. Good stuff, higher IQ stuff. And this is the kind of things you're going to need to beat, or these are the things that will certainly help beating Andy Ruiz, because we know he likes to throw combinations, and we know he likes to counterpunch himself. So maybe they've been working on some high IQ stuff here, where they're going to be looking to set Ruiz's counters up with a counter kind of thing. But who knows? All I know is, from a basic point of view, the stuff looks tight. And that moves me on to my next point that I noticed. AJ's chin position. One of the other things I noticed in the Ruiz fight, AJ's chin was almost at civilian level. It was at eye level. He was walking around in the Ruiz fight almost as if he's having a conversation. His chin was above 90 degrees, opened up. And what that does is, not only does it make your body, when someone has a high chin, it literally opens the whole body up. I don't know what, it just does. It brings your elbows up, which means it opens your body up, and it just makes everything look so big. Or it makes your target open right up. That's why people like Tyson were so hard to hit, and that even Andy Ruiz to an extent. He got that tight. Yes, what lets Andy Ruiz down is the fact he's got so much body mass. But people like Tyson, they were small and chin down. So when you got a small chin down and hands up, it's very hard to find holes to dig at. And on this footage here, you see AJ's chins. Definitely, I think he's taking that into consideration now. Or they've certainly, in my opinion, maybe I'm wrong, but it looks as if he's actually thinking about genuinely keeping his chin lower now. Now, I actually think he can probably get it a bit lower, but who knows? This is only a small clip, so either way, my casual advice would be, unless you're miles out of range, when you're in range, keep that chin as low as possible. Obviously, don't impair your vision, but all the time you should be there's no benefit of having your chin higher, in my opinion. Maybe people in the comments below comment, I don't think, unless you're trying to taunt someone, unless you're trying to stunt, there's no benefit, in my opinion, of having a chin high. Your best bet is keep it low at all times, and therefore you've reduced the chance of it being exposed. Now, you can still get hit with a shot, but that moves on to my next point, and is talking about the chin. You'll notice that AJ's arms appear higher as well, or as in they appear more, essentially in a better place, in my opinion, in terms of defense. They're a lot more square. I've picked up on it in my a few weeks ago, talking about the defense. AJ's defense was a lot wider. He was almost hugging his cheeks not hugging his cheeks. He was almost hugging his temple rather than coming square in front of your nose kind of thing. Whereas here, it looks a lot more central, which is what Lennox Lewis talks about. You can always, from the center position, if you've got your hands in front of your nose, you can always move them 2 or 3 inches and catch a shot, catch a hook. Whereas when they're on your cheek, it's not a natural defensive position, because you got your square open for the straight shot, and we know when you hug your temples, that leaves you open for jabs and straight shots, and jabs and straight shots, they're the quickest shots. So why would you naturally leave the straight shots open? You're much better off naturally defending the straight shots with your hands in front of your face, and then catching the hooks, because the hooks and whatnot, they've got much more of a wind up. You can see hooks coming a lot easier than straight shots. Look at Ortiz as an example. He got hit with a right hand because he didn't know nothing about it. So it's much better to naturally have your hands a lot more central, and then you can always move them 2 inches when you see a hook coming. And that's what it looked like here as well. It's a lot more centered, which is good. But the other thing is that natural chin position, because it's come lower, you'll notice that the Padman throws a few body shots as well, and AJ's able to just dip his elbows down a bit more and catch them, that's how you need to be, nice and tight. And it was lovely. It's actually nice to see them. I haven't seen, maybe this stuff was going on before, but I haven't seen McCracken mixing up like that. AJ's elbows were in. That's another thing I picked up on in my video. AJ's elbows were always they were always flared, and they were never tight to his body. But now everything's a lot more square and a lot more tight. And now maybe that's just me being whatever, but I like to see things tight. I like to be low risk and always not high discipline, but just high form at all times. And look at some of the best fighters. I don't know. Even someone like Kovalev, to an extent, he's a shot fighter, but his form was always very tight when he's the first 4 rounds, and that's how I like to see it, nice and tight, especially in his early career. A great example, even Canelo as an example. Canelo's got a very tight defense. Everything's tight. You don't see big gaping holes. Chin's down, hands are up. Good stuff, and that's what we see here. And also the last thing I'll talk about is AJ's right hand, because not only me, but many people have picked up on sometimes. AJ kind of has a bit of a tell on his right hand. He kind of pulls it down, when he throws his right hand, he kind of drops it to his chest, throws it, and then pulls it back to his chest. Which obviously, when you throw a right hand, you want to have your right hand at your cheek, and you just want to throw it essentially from that point. Because the less you move it around first, the less of a tell it's got on it, and also it'll be quicker. And you see that here. He's got his chin down in a nice position, and he dings a right hand straight off. And actually, rather than pulling it back to his chest, where does it come? He throws the right hand, and it comes straight back to the side of his face, which is good. Turns it straight over. Lovely stuff, man. I mean, I am impressed. I've got to be honest. I am impressed. Looks tight, and also when he throws the right hand, he's not dropping. Let me check again. I'm watching it now in live time. When he throws the right hand, his left hand very tight. Look, watch. He throws the right hand, and his left hand stays at his cheek. He pulls it in. It's almost like a counterbalance. That's how you want to have it. When you throw your right hand, you almost want to use your left hand as a counterweight. And sometimes, if you want to load up a bit more, you can kind of throw your left side back. As you throw your right hand, if you pull your left side back, it generates even more momentum. So that in itself can create more power, and it keeps you defensively tight. Does that make sense? So you've got your left hand here. If you pull it back to your chin quick as you throw your right hand, it just creates like a counterbalance and generates more force. But that was that part. So that was nice to see as well. And the last thing was when he's throwing his big hook and big uppercut. When he finishes up, I think he throws a hook. What is it? A hook, uppercut, and a hook. You watch it. Uppercut, hook. Yeah. So right uppercut, left hook. And when he does that, he finishes off with tight hand to his chin, which is where it needs to be, or to his side. Because when you're going to throw hooks and uppercuts, you know they're going to take place on the inside. So when you're on the inside, you want to be hugging the side of your head, because that's what's most likely going to be coming back on the inside. So yeah, good stuff, man. Good, powerful stuff. And I'm definitely intrigued because this was only a small clip. So if he's been doing this for 4 or 5 months, very encouraging. And it's nice to see them new trade. I don't care what no one says. Maybe this is what was going to happen anyway with just McCracken. I'm not so sure. This looks like, for me, they've been focusing on certain things. He looks like not a different fighter, but he looks like a more primed and a more, from my point of view anyway, we're going to find out. If AJ goes in there and he executes the things I've been talking about the last 6 months, and that don't work, then I'll put my hands in the air and say I was talking rubbish. Or if he executes the things I've talked about, i.e. chin down, hands more centered and tight, and that opens him up for something else, I'll come on here and I'll say, listen guys, I'm wrong. Keeping your chin down and having your hands in front of your face didn't work. A, B, C, D. But for me, personally speaking, I like what I see here. I can't see, if AJ goes in there and he's got his chins down, his hands are up, it sounds, I keep banging on about it, but if he does that and he's catching hooks and I just can't see what Ruiz is going to do with him. I can't see it at all. Because the reason what happened was because there was a lot of gaping holes there on June 1st. And it's going to be a deadly night. We talk about AJ versus Dillian White, but even AJ versus Dillian White, that was 4 years ago. If we can see an AJ who in the last 6 months has put it together, has put the last 4 years together, it's going to be a dangerous sight. Never mind AJ versus Dillian White. This one's going to be known as AJ versus Ruiz. That's what I want to be talking about. Yeah. After AJ's finished with Ruiz, I'm going to be talking about for years to come. When AJ if Wilder ever mans up, or if Fury ever mans up, I'm going to be talking about, listen, Deontay Wilder's going to get it like Ruiz got it. That's what this one's going to be, in my opinion. Great stuff. I'll be intrigued to see what you might think.